Hey there, welcome to day 37 of our BU 365-day challenge. Today we're going to talk about climbing up. Always be climbing up. I want to save it. Instead of saying always, because I don't like to use absolutes, I put climb up. So we're going to learn how to climb up the emotional guidance system that we talked about yesterday. Now, you picked a feeling yesterday, right? And you paid attention to a feeling you were feeling throughout the day. Just notice the one that you felt the most. And I noticed yesterday, and I'll share my example of how I climbed out of that yesterday, and I almost do that automatically now. Actually, I do it pretty much automatically now, and I want you to be able to do that as well. First thing we need to do is have a list or a graphic or a copy of the emotional scale, right? So this is mine, and it's getting kind of tattered and torn because I refer to it often. I'd like to say that I have all of the emotions and the levels memorized, but I don't. I actually just go with what feels better to me. We're always reaching for a better feeling thought. So yesterday, I was hanging out with my 1-year-old granddaughter. I went to Sam's with my sister in the morning, which always, because it's her first birthday today. So we were getting some stuff for her party. And then I came home and the kids went snowboarding, so I watched my granddaughter. And we're hanging out, and she's at the point where she's going from the 2 naps a day to the 1 nap a day. And yesterday, no matter what I tried, she wasn't going to sleep. She wasn't going to take a nap. It was a total non-nap day. Now, she fell asleep about 8:15 yesterday, last night, because she was so exhausted because she didn't have a nap all day. But I caught myself trying thing after thing after thing and getting a little impatient and frustrated, which is, of course, 10 on our downward spiral scale. Well, I personally don't ever really want to spend very much time on the downward spiral scale. So I noticed that I wanted to feel better. So what do I need to do to feel better if I'm feeling frustrated or impatient or irritated about something? Well, I want to either feel pessimism, I need my magnifying glass, or boredom, or contentment. Somehow I want to jump from the negative scale. I want to do something that feels better. I want to reach for a better feeling thought all the time, to climb the scale, to get all the way up to one of the more positive emotions. But I want to get off personally, you might not mind, but I don't want to feel negative or mopey most of the day. Most of my life, I want to feel up and positive and energetic and happy and joyful, because when we feel joyful and happy, we're creating what we want in our life. So I went through this process, and I grabbed my little scale and I looked at it and I said, okay, I've been feeling really impatient and irritated most of the day, because I know that this amazing little baby needs a nap, because when she does, she's always in a cheerful, happy mood. But when she doesn't get a nap, she gets clumsy and tip overy. She's walking, but she gets super clumsy when she is tired. She falls down or trips or doesn't notice where she's going, and I'm always afraid she's going to get hurt, right? So that actually goes the wrong direction. That goes down to doubt, worry, fear that something's going to happen to her. Well, I definitely don't want to stay down there, so I'm going to reach for better feeling thoughts. So I go through the stages of, all right, well, how do I feel better? What feeling can I reach for that makes me feel better? Well, I caught myself feeling pessimistic. Oh, she's never going to take a nap. She's not going to take a nap all day, no matter what I do. I've tried, 20 different things, and none of them have worked. Things that have always worked in the past aren't working today. She's full of energy. She doesn't want to go to sleep. So I was feeling pessimistic, like she was never going to take a nap. Well, the good thing about pessimism is it's actually a better feeling on the emotional guidance scale than irritation or frustration or impatience, right? So that was actually a move up the scale. Then I was thinking about it, and I started to get bored with trying to try all the different things. Excuse me, I have a total tickle in my throat. I started to get bored. I'm getting bored with this cough that's a remnant from COVID from over a year ago. So I started to get bored and think, okay, this is boring. I'm running out of things to try. What am I going to do next? And I started to get bored with ideas. But as I was getting bored with the ideas, I decided that if anything was going to change, I had to commit to changing my mind about how I was feeling about the whole nap situation. So I committed to making sure she had a good, safe day and fun no matter what. And that got me from the downward spiral to the upward spiral, and then everything started to spiral up. Pretty quickly, I started to skip steps and go from committed to making sure that she just had an awesome, safe day, which is how I always feel, to, and let's see, I actually wrote down the steps I made. Commitment was 7, level 7. So now I've gone from a 10 to a 7. And that gets me from the negative downward spiral to the positive upward spiral. And once we get on the upward spiral, we climb up really, really fast, right? At least that's my experience. That's what happens to me. Might not happen for you in the beginning, but usually it does. It's like anything else. Once we think of a negative thing and we keep thinking of negative things, they pile on and we go down the negative spiral. But if we are on the positive side and we think of positive things that make us feel better and better and better, we go up just as fast as we go down on the other side. So once I committed to making sure that I checked my attitude and had a good fun day with her, everything started to turn around, right? Instead of, once I was committed, I skipped up from 7 to 5 to optimistic. I was optimistic that we were going to have a good day and it was going to be fine, whether she took a nap or not. I knew that at some point, if she wasn't going to take her afternoon nap, that she would just go to bed early. And that's okay too. Although today is her birthday party, so I was a little worried, which dropped me down to negative again, that she'd be tired and she wouldn't enjoy her birthday party today. So today we're going to try to make sure she gets a nap a little earlier in the day. All right. So then I went from optimism, and I just went to 4. I had positive expectations and beliefs, which I kind of just described. And then I skipped from 4 up to love and appreciation. And nowadays, I personally, actually, whenever I catch myself feeling something negative, I look for something to love or appreciate about the situation, because that jumps me personally now, after lots of practice, from the downward spiral to the upward spiral almost immediately, because there's almost always something to love or appreciate about anything. So our action item today, I'm going to share one of these cards with you. It's about reaching for a better feeling thought. And then our action item today is going to be, I want you to try this out on something today. So catch yourself feeling something negative. Now we feel positive and negative emotions all day long, right? And it's up to us to choose what we want to feel the most often. We don't often realize that we get to choose, but we absolutely, totally have the power to choose how we want to feel. So throughout the day today, I guarantee somebody's going to tip you over, somebody's going to irritate you, somebody's going to make you mad, something is going to push your buttons, and you're going to get on that negative downward spiral somewhere. Notice that, and then immediately say, okay, well, what would make me feel better about this? So where on the scale do you notice the feeling, the negative feeling? Are you feeling fear? Are you feeling like a victim? Are you feeling like the world's out to get you? Are you, whatever it is, or maybe you're worried about getting COVID or something. Where is that on the scale? Share that number or the emotion, and then notice how you consciously reach for a better feeling thought. So for example, if I'm afraid or feeling like a victim about COVID, and I start looking for information, talking to myself about, well, it doesn't really make much sense to be afraid of that, because, and then I just get up to worried, and then I actually go from worried to doubt. All of a sudden I've gone from fear, victim, which is 22 on the scale, all the way up to doubt, which is 15. And I feel much better. I feel a lot less stress, a lot less more like a victim, a lot less like I'm going to catch it no matter what. I have a sister who says, you're going to catch this new COVID variant no matter what. Whether you've had COVID before or not, everybody in the world's going to catch it. Now, how does she know that? She's just my sister. She's not a scientist. She's not a doctor. She's not, she doesn't play one on TV. But her belief is that everybody's going to catch this new variant. Well, I guess now that my mom and my sister and her daughter-in-law have had it, that just reinforces her belief that everybody's going to get it. And then I look at my family and say, all right, well, 3 people out of, say, 50 of us have gotten it. So to me, the probability of getting it is slim to none. Just because she believes everybody's going to get it, I don't believe everybody's going to get it. So I'm going to choose not to participate. So I'm not afraid of it, right? So that gets me all the way from that I'm optimistic I'm not going to get it. So that gets me from the negative, worry, doubt, fear spiral all the way to optimism, which is, I think, number 5 on the scale. So I go from 22 to 5, just like that. And you can do that too with a little practice. So our action item today is just notice it and use the scale to help you feel better today. Climb up that scale whenever you can. Always be reaching for a thought or a feeling or an emotion that feels better to you. So what's this card I want to share with you today? It's from one of the decks. Again, I pulled the cards out of the decks and mixed them all up, so I don't know what goes with what anymore. I'll look them up and match them up someday, but right now this is the one. It says, I don't know what it says. It says, I can always reach for a thought that feels better. Can always reach for a thought that feels better, which is very true. The hand reaching. And on the back it says, your decision to reach for a thought that feels good is a powerful decision, for it serves you in many ways. The better feeling thought reverberates within you, opening passageways to well-being that reach far beyond this one good feeling thought. So, like I was saying, it's all cumulative. If you feel more upward spiral emotions more often, you feel better about, more optimistic and happier about your life, and like you have a good life. If you're living in the downward spiral, you feel like you're a victim. You feel like worried and doubtful and fearful and like the world is out to get you. I personally think the universe is rigged in my favor. And so I spend a lot more time on the upward spiral than I ever do on the negative downward spiral. But do I experience negative emotions? Absolutely, positively, like every day. I just don't choose to stay in them and live there. So that's our challenge for today. Emotional guidance system, positive, negatives, always be climbing that ladder to a better feeling. Any questions, ask. Otherwise, I'll be with you tomorrow for the beginning of our using the SOAP framework. We'll use the SOAP framework this week on some area or aspect of our emotional life. And we'll start that process tomorrow. Not the ask, but we'll start the introduction to the SOAP framework and how it's going to work in case someone's joining us that missed it when we went through it for the physical aspects and areas of our life. All right. Have an awesome day. I will be with you tomorrow.